Hello everyone. So welcome to the channel of RD Automation Learning. So today we are going to cover the testing interview questions asked at Amdocs company, which is located in Pune. So this was asked to one of my subscriber who had 2 to 3 years of experience, and the interview started with some of the generic questions like tell me something about yourself, tell me something about your project, and questions from resume, so that all going to be asked. Then then they started asking about the testing questions. Now in testing, various questions on gray box testing. What are the objectives of gray box testing? Then uh, then test cases, live scenarios of lift, elevator, all those questions would be covered. Then what is git and git commands, those would be covered. And Git basics, and then the differences between SDLC and STLC, then sanity testing and smoke testing, black box testing and white box testing. All these differences were asked. Then SQL queries were covered, like primary key, foreign key. What is the difference between primary and foreign key? Then what are joins, inner joins, outer join? So these all questions were covered. Now we would look into detail of all these interview questions, and I would be covering with the answers as well. Okay. So let us go to the first question. What is gray box testing? So gray box testing is a software testing technique which is a combination of both black box testing as well as white box testing. In black box testing, the tester is not aware about the internal structure of the code, and in white box testing they are aware about the backend code, what is written in that. So over here in gray box testing, the internal structure is partially known to the tester, that is gray box testing. And again, it will have access to the internal data structures and algorithms for the purpose of designing test cases. So you can answer in this manner. And then you might also be asked why one should go for gray box testing. What is the significance? What are the objectives of gray box testing? So it is very simple and straightforward, that it is basically done to provide the combined advantage of both black box as well as white box testing. It is done to combine the input of both developers as well as testers. It would also help to improve the overall product quality. Then it is done to reduce the overhead of long process of functional as well as non-functional testings. Then the developers will get time enough to fix the defects, and it is done from a user point of view rather than the designer point of view. Now test cases of lift were asked. So whenever see, now over here let me give you a very brief idea how any test cases you can cover. Let's say if you are asked a test cases of pen or fan or bulb or anything. So as a tester, it is very necessary that you have an analytical mind. Okay, these questions will be short coming up in an interview. Okay, one or two live scenarios they might ask, like give us the test cases of e-commerce website or something like that. So on the fly, how can you develop the test cases? So what you can start with, you can start with the objects that are already there in your home or in your surroundings or at your office. Okay, and you can start, how can you test this particular thing, test this particular object? Let's say if a bottle is there, so you can take an example of the cap is there or the whole body is there, which are the different liquids that you can pour into that bottle. So in this way you can you can develop this practice of thinking of the testing scenarios on the fly. Okay. No, so what would happen? It would also help you to overcome the fear when these test cases or these test scenarios are being asked in an interview to you. Okay, because in an interview, obviously there is some hesitation, there is sometimes lack of confidence is there, sometimes fear is there. So if you are already developing this practice, it is doing this practice every day for just 5 to 10 minutes, it will help you a lot in the testing interview. Okay, now let us see the test cases of lift. So let's say if you are standing outside of the lift, so it should get open whenever you press the button of the lift, and then if you are standing on the ground floor, so it should come, it should give some sound that it is opening for you. Then in the outer box, there should be some kind of display should work. It should be properly captured over there, like at which particular floor the lift is going. Then once you are inside the lift, if no one else is entering, so after 10 seconds, the door should close by itself. Okay. Then when you press any of the buttons that are there within the lift, like fan is there, light is there, or stop is there, push is there, any all those buttons should work. The caption, the text on all those buttons should be displayed properly. Okay. So then let's say if you are clicking, if you are pushing for 8th floor or 10th floor, then it should go on that. Now in some companies or in some malls, there are lifts that are only stopping at halting at odd numbers or at even numbers, so you can add that test cases also. Then verify on reaching the correct floor, it should automatically stop and it should open. Okay, so these are the various test cases of lift. Now what is Git? Okay, so Git is a version control software. So this is a very important key points, keywords that you should use in the definition. Version control. Okay, now what is version control? The very next question, it will come like this. It might come in an interview, but this in an mdocs it was only asked what is Git. Okay, but now if you are answering version control, so you should also know what is version control. So version control software keeps track of every modification to the code in a special kind of database. Okay, now why is it important? Let's say if a mistake is made, so the developers can turn back and they can compare the earlier versions of the code to help, and they will come to know, okay, these are the new lines of the code that I had added, so let me not add them, the earlier lines were proper, or these were the new lines of the code that are impacting the change, so let me resolve them. So it is done to make a minimized disruption to all the team members. Okay, it is a kind of collaboration also, you can tell, software. Okay, and Git is basically used for among the software engineers, and even it has been used by the automation people also. Let's say if you have to manage your code, so you'll be using Git only. Okay, now then few of the Git commands were asked, like git init, what is the function of it, git add, git commit. So over here I have listed down all the basics of commands of Git which can be asked. So first is git init. So what it would do is it would basically create an empty Git repository in a specified directory. Okay, and git clone will be used to clone the repository located into your local machine. Okay, and then it can be accessed on your local file system basis. Then git config username, so it is nothing but it is a author name to be used. Devs commonly used as global dash dash global flag to set config operation options for current user. Git add, it will stage all the changes in the directory for the next commit. Okay, git commit means commit the stage snapshot, but instead of launching a text editor, use message as the git message. Then git status, so it will tell you which all the what is the status of the files, whether it is staged, unstaged, untracked. Git log is there, display the entire commit history using the default format. Okay, then git diff is there, so it will show the unstaged changes between your index and the actual the working directory. Okay, then differences between SDLC and STLC. These differences were asked. Then what is sanity testing and smoke testing? What is black box and white box testing? Various SQL queries will be asked. Then inner join, outer join, primary key, foreign key. So these all the topics that I have covered already in my YouTube channel. I'll paste the link of the YouTube videos in the job in this YouTube description. But SDLC and STLC I have not covered. So let me cover them over here. So SDLC is nothing. It is mainly related to the software development, and STLC. Okay, it's a minor mistake over here. So it is STLC. It is mainly related to the software testing. Sorry, my bad. And besides development, other phases like testing is also included in SDLC. While in STLC, it focuses only on testing. Goal of SDLC is to complete software development of the software. and SDLC is to complete successful testing of the software. SDLC phases are completed before the STLC phases, and STLC phases are performed after the SDLC. And SDLC will help you to develop a good quality software, and STLC will help you to make the software defects free. So this was the difference. Now, thank you for watching this video. If you have also attended the testing interviews, please share questions at rdautomationlearning@gmail.com. Also, we are conducting free mock interviews for people so that they can also track how much they have gained the knowledge, whether they are prepared for giving the interviews or not. And this mock interviews are absolutely free. We won't charge you anything for that. So please drop us an email at rdautomationlearning@gmail.com if you are really interested for mock interviews. And also, I would appreciate if you can share some of the testing interview questions